Hello for the 21st week in Ordinary Time, and we're going to be talking about the Gospel, I guess, first reading, the new way, or the way. You know, the Gospel is John 6, but a little bit later in his Gospel, in chapter 14, verse 6, Jesus refers to himself as, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Well, all of Jesus' teaching, the way he lived, his personality, and we try to imitate his way, not my way. The interesting thing, as far as in the early church communities began to say that we're trying to follow the way, meaning the way of Jesus. As what he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And this can be found in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 9, verse 2, when they refer to themselves as the way. Or, Apollos in Acts of the Apostles 18:26. It talks about Apollos. He had been instructed in the way of the Lord. Even in those early Essene communities, we find in the Qumran caves where they refer to themselves and distinguish themselves as people of the way. Well, the way, we find out Jesus has problems getting the people to follow his way or his teachings, his insights, as we see this morning in the gospel reading. Because he finds out that it's too much for some of them. And he questions them, and he knows these sayings and his way, they're hard, they're difficult. For example, we've been talking about that you eat my body and drink my blood, and if you don't do this, you don't have life in you. And with many of the disciples there, as we see in the gospel, read in the gospel, he challenges them and he says, as far as, are you going to stick with me? Are you going to follow? And we know, as it says in there, that many left and went back to their former way of living. And I guess their former way of living was to try to be a good Jew. Well, Jesus came to talk to Jews to improve or to intensify or purify the Jewish way. And his way was the Jewish way, but a new way. And so he wants to challenge everyone. In the early church, he did. And I think he asked us, or would ask us, the exact same question. Do you want to try to follow my way? Or what he says is, and they say, the way. Well, people sort of have to decide. And I think we do respond. Some people respond with, no way. I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe all that stuff. Maybe when I was a kid, but now, not now. No way. Other people are rather arrogant, it seems. They give the attitude in life, it's either my way or the highway. You know any people like that? Could you be like that yourself? Could I be like that? I know as pastor, some people used to think, it's my way or the highway. Well, the same thing can be our understanding, our attitude toward the message of Jesus. It's my way or the highway. It'll probably be the highway. And then other people, they take some of this and make it my way, and they reject some of it because they don't believe it. It's too hard. It's too difficult. It's too challenging. And so some of us, we have a percentage of the way, but only a percentage. And then, as far as other people, some people have a screwed up version of the way. I mean, just look on one classic example in religion as far as I think a screwed up version of the way or true religion is when you chop off heads in the name of Yahweh, in the name of God, in the name of Allah, in the name of Christ. Way back when, I remember a saying, kill a commie for Christ. We had our crusades. We now have the Islamic State's attitude. And I'm sorry, and so many people, or some people, attribute that to religion and the way. Well, I hope you and I learn from the opinion of Peter when Christ challenges them and say, are you too? The other, when Christ is talking to the disciples, are you too going to leave? And as usual, Peter, in his boisterous self, he says, Master, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. That's what we really believe in Jesus the Christ. You, Master, have the words of eternal life. You show us how to begin living the eternal life. No, I'm not going to do it my way or the highway, or a percentage of my way versus Christ's way. But I want to try to live up to and follow the way of Jesus Christ. All of us are challenged like those disciples in the early church. And all of us are called to follow or try to live the way. Have a good day.